And next we have the police chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Relative to a sizable Homeland Security grant.
Yes, thank you. I'm Kenneth Miola, police chief. I'm also a member of the Y, and I have no idea anything about haying.
You ever do any haying?
But this vehicle has nothing to do with the law, right?
No, ma'am. I just thought I'd get it on the record, as everyone else has this evening. Yeah, I wanted to come up before my two captains, Captain Costa and Captain Russo, just to kind of preface what this vehicle is about. They're going to make a presentation on its capabilities and answer any questions you may have about it. But I just really want to impress upon you how important this vehicle is as a resource for the western part of the state here. As it currently stands, no vehicle of this type exists within at least about an hour, hour and a half's travel time from us. We involved all of the Cheshire County law enforcement community in this decision-making, to include the Cheshire County attorney. This is truly a partnership and a collaboration relative to attaining this grant. The Keene Police Department was the lead on this because, as the largest agency, we have the resources and the capabilities to manage, store, and transport this vehicle, and actually to even apply for the grant. But it really, truly was a partnership. I think you're going to find, when you see what this vehicle looks like, that it's a little militaristic in appearance and perhaps aggressive looking, but please understand that it's purpose-built to a standard that facilitates rescue and life-saving capabilities, and that public safety and life-saving are its primary missions. So with that, I'd like to introduce Captain Brian Costa and Captain Steve Russo, and they'll take it from here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
John, can we take that microphone?
Yeah, I
Right from there.
don't know. Should we try?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Somebody will come running if it doesn't work.
There. Okay. We should have done that early in the meeting.
Good evening, Madam Chair, committee
evening.
members. I'm Steve Russo, Captain of Keene Police Department.
Good evening. I'm Brian Costa, also captain of the police department.
Okay.
A little bit of the background on how this started. In 2009, the Homeland Security Grant Committee, it has 22 members, I believe. It is a 27, I don't remember offhand. They meet annually, obviously, to give out the grants, but they also meet at times to decide where a lot of the state equipment is, or grant money that was federally funded through the state, where that money will go to divvy up equipment equally throughout the state. And in 2009, we became aware that this is driving me crazy, that they were looking at where everything was. And basically, a lot of the equipment is on the other side of the state, from Concord over and some north. And I'm talking about mass casualty trailers, armored vehicles such as what this grant is for, command posts. There's nothing on this side of the state, what we call west of Concord, north, or even south. So we were aware they were looking at where they're positioned and how they can get funding to get some more of these vehicles specifically to this part of the state. So we took advantage of that. And as Chief Miola said, we worked as a group. All 21 police chiefs in the county, the sheriff, Sheriff Foote, who's here tonight, also Peter Heed, the county attorney. We brought him on board to get support. We did this through the Cheshire County Chiefs of Police meetings. We went and did presentations with them. All were readily supported and agreed that a vehicle of this type is needed in this area. Once again, it's like a lot of things we do in the area. It's not just Keene, it's about the whole community, especially with fire and police mutual aid, and also public works mutual aid as well. So aware of that, we were aware there was funding that was going to be available through the state as well. So once everybody was on board, we actually had memorandums of understandings typed up. All the chiefs agreed, they signed them, and we went forward with the grant. Our group at the Keene Police Department got together, we applied for the grant, it was approved this past September, which brings us here. I think part of the reason the grant was approved, and this is just opinion, is because they had been looking at where this equipment, and there's nothing outside this side of the state here. Massachusetts, northern Massachusetts doesn't have a vehicle of this type. Vermont doesn't either. So there's nothing in a very large area. We've always counted on Nashua being a primary to call if we needed a backup or if we needed an armored vehicle for something. But you're talking at least an hour and a half, and that's if they can jump in it right away and drive here. So that's a little bit of the background. We also are in need. We have no rescue capability, if you will, for citizens or evacuation of citizens. Let's say there's a bank robbery and they're holed up inside. We want to get people out of a house next door. Right now, we have nothing for them to move safely behind. Frankly, our plan right now is we keep 6 ballistic vests in the supervisor vehicle, and we're going to strap them to the side of a cruiser. Not a very good plan, but it's the only one we have. We've known this for years. Everything seemed to come together in the last 2 years to be able to apply for this, and the grant committee realizing that we need to distribute this. Because you can go to the other side of the state, Concord, and the seacoast, there's 6 of these vehicles. 5 of these, and the state police have a larger one that they just acquired. What can a vehicle do? One of the main things, it's a stable platform for almost any kind of weather environments. If Hurricane Irene had hit us as bad as it hit Vermont, some high winds and stuff, you might not want to be going out in a cruiser. We could have used that vehicle if we had it at the time if things got real bad to transport medics to places where maybe even the ambulance wouldn't be able to go. So it's a very stable off-road capability vehicle. Has spotlights on it. It'll have a mounted thermal imager. Right now, if we have a lost person, we call the fire department and they come out with a handheld thermal imagers. This will give us the ability to go off-road looking for missing children or missing people, which we have done in the past, and be able to use a vehicle-mounted thermal imager, which would be helpful. Along with it, all Homeland Security vehicles that are acquired have to have combustible gas monitoring systems. It will actually passively monitor for explosive gases as you drive it around. It provides radiation detection monitoring equipment, both mounted inside and some handheld devices. It obviously gives you bomb and blast protection, and it can sustain multiple weapons hits from a variety of weapons. Those are just a few of the capabilities. And the model that was approved for us is an off-road model. We're not like Nashua or Manchester, who both have one of these vehicles. They have the same vehicle. It's just dual axle. It's non-off-road vehicle. Where we are, we felt, and obviously people agreed with us, that we needed more of an off-road model. Same vehicle, it's just an off-road model. How would we employ this? It's a public safety vehicle. It has a different look. However, that's the primary focus of it. Missing children or adults, especially if they're off-road somewhere, and we can access through either the old railroad beds or a lot of trails that are here. Bomb threats or bomb scares. A couple examples we had on a suspicious package right behind City Hall here at the beginning of last year. It takes a long time for state police EOD to respond. Myself and a fireman wound up walking up there after we got some information from a person who claimed to own it. But that would have been something we could have used to safely drive up, get a good view of what we're looking at. Another example, there were 2 homemade explosive devices, IEDs, improvised explosive devices, found out on Ferry Brook Road right at the Keene and Sullivan line. EOD was actually on a call in Portsmouth with a bus that they thought there was a hostage taker in there, so we never saw EOD. State police handled the call for us because we were busy here in Keene. We had gone out there with them, and what wound up happening is they wound up just walking up to look at these things. Not a very good idea. It's a lot better to be able to approach something from something that's going to give you some blast protection. Bank robberies. In the last 4 years, we've had 6 bank robberies in Keene. What this vehicle would do is add for scene protection and also for evacuation of anybody surrounding the bank if something had developed differently, which thank goodness they haven't in any of these bank robberies. Right now, as I said at the beginning, we really don't have a good way to evacuate people with some kind of protection between them and a place where somebody bad might be. Also, obviously, we'd use it for tactical calls. We have various numbers every year of tactical calls with the tactical team. We work so well with everybody. We do a lot of call-outs outside of town as well. It's because of mutual aid, and we all work together. There's been several incidents where this vehicle would have been very useful on the tactical side, and I'll just bring up one. We had what we thought was a barricaded armed subject at a hotel on Key Road. We wound up with firefighters' help, but we placed firefighters in what could be the line of fire from a person inside a hotel window because we needed to use their vehicle. So we're putting firefighters in jeopardy doing something they're not trained or employed to do, and we're using a very expensive fire truck because we needed access to a vehicle to get some lifting, whereas we could have used this vehicle to deploy close to the window and deploy the ladder out of this vehicle versus out of a very expensive fire truck. So it has a lot of potential uses. And in clothing, we believe it's a necessary piece of equipment. Apparently all the chiefs in the county do as well as because the county attorney. I think that